Hey, scrappy people, it's Tracy Reed here today, coming at you with a project life process for September. And you can see I've already filled in the majority of my journaling and chosen my cards. As per usual, I am working mainly with Allie Edwards story kits and stories by the month kits. I like to just stick to these products for the most part when it comes to my project life, although I have brought in these fun transparencies that were just sitting in my stash. And then also I have all of these card backings that I bring in from my stash as well. So everything like behind the photos are all just from my stash. So I'm working on September, and these two pages are actually back to back, so they don't necessarily have to coordinate perfectly, which they still end up coordinating just fine, but I'm not really trying to coordinate them as I lay things out. And I have already pulled in and sorted out things that I thought might work on this spread, so I've got it all sort of pulled aside and ready to use. I find that easier than going through everything every time I start a process video. This speeds my editing time up and speeds your watching time up so that I'm not going through a million products on camera. So I pulled out some of the chipboard from the story kits that I felt would match either in sentiment or in color. And I have these labels pulled in from my stash as well, but I don't end up actually using more than just this bookworm one because I've already told all the stories of these photos. I thought maybe I would add more information, but I didn't really need to. So that little quote bubble will come off. You can see the color palette that I'm working with is sort of a neutral black and white plus the greens from the September Life card and the Loving This card, the greens and reds from that card, which can read sort of Christmassy, but it came out just fine without a Christmassy feel, I think, in this spread. So I did leave a little journaling area for that photo, which is a photo of me with a downed tree blocking our road. It made it so that I could not go pick up my kids from the bus stop and from school, and I ended up having to have a friend go pick up my oldest from his bus stop, and it was pretty hilarious because by the time she or they got to our house, they had cleaned up the tree. So there was like no evidence of there ever being a tree down. So they were laughing and saying that I just tricked them so that I would go pick up Karsten, or so that they would go pick up Karsten for me, which was pretty funny. But anyway, I had a picture of this tree that I needed to tell a little story for. I'm adhering these transparency cards that I've literally had in my stash probably for 5, 6, 7 years, and I just found them when I was going through the neutral cards for this spread, and I was like, I'm going to use these. I'm just going to get them out of my stash and put them in my album, and I'm going to use them. So I found this one on my photo that is sort of like a half wreath that curved around my photo perfectly, and then the one over there on Patrick's photo is like a gold foil stars, and I just thought it worked with his photo of him working out. This photo is of, oh God, we had this, it wasn't really a scare, it was just a really weird day. Joe had been texting me all morning and complaining that his stomach was hurting, and being the mom that I am, I'm like, yeah, well, call me when you puke. And then Karsten started texting me that he was having chest pains, and that was a bit scary. So he texted me that he was having chest pains and felt like he was going to pass out. And when I texted him back, he did not respond, which was scary. But he ended up not responding because he had gone to the nurse's office. And he did text me back and say that he was feeling a little bit better, but then the nurse called me and was like, you need to come pick up your kid or we're going to call an ambulance. So Karsten ended up being fine. He's perfectly fine. I get these weird shouldery chest pains as well. I think that's just what he was having. It's just like a weird muscle spasm, and I think that's what was going on. But it was a bit scary, so I had to race to the school to pick up Karsten before they called an ambulance, and then I thought while I was out, I would just pick up Joe since he was complaining all day too of not feeling well, and actually Joe came home and slept basically the rest of the day, so he really wasn't feeling well. So anyway, I had texted or posted on Facebook about this whole drama, which of course freaked my mom out. So I took a photo once we were all in the car showing that we were all safe. So that's what that photo was. This one is of Finn and his big stack of library books. That time it was pretty funny. I said, maybe you should get less library books this time because he had a hard time getting through all of the ones he picked last time. And of course he came out with more because he is my child and he cannot resist a book that looks good. So I took a picture of him in his haul, and I'm just going to use this label actually as a sort of frame instead of a journaling label because I don't need to add any extra journaling. I had already journaled on that Loving This card. So I'm just gonna kind of frame the photo because the bookworm was so cute, and it's like October afternoon from like 2013. So I'm just trying to use up my stash, people. I got rid of so much in the great stash purge of 2018. It all went to my son's teacher, and I still feel like I just have so much sitting in my stash. So I'm just trying to use things up and layer a lot and get rid of all of this product that's just kind of rotting in my stash. These labels are from the Cocoa Daisy book club kit, so of course I pulled them out for these pictures. What else do I have going on here? That photo to the left of that is a note home from Finn's teacher about how awesome he is. The one above that of Finn and Joe, Finn hiding from the sun. I wanted a nice little picture of, hey, we got pumpkin spice. It's pumpkin spice season, and that was what I got, which was hilarious, so it had to be scrapbooked. Down in the bottom there is a collage I made of a bunch of photos from my friend's birthday. We went to the local breweries and had some fun, so I just created a little collage because I had a lot of photos and I didn't want to create, I didn't want it to have its own pocket page since it was just one event, and none of the photos, well, a couple of the photos I really love, but they aren't great quality because most of them were taken in dark bars or at nighttime. So I just created a little photo collage in Photoshop instead. And this little chipboard says, "These friends are everything." And so I really wanted to use that. So I combined it with the So Fun and put that over my little beer slushie. I'm not a big beer drinker. I don't really like beer. I like a few certain beers, but not really. And so they had these beer slushies, which were basically margaritas made with beer instead, and they were decent, but it was pretty amusing. Lastly, a text from my mom down in the bottom right corner, and my monthly shot of just me, so to pair with my currently card, the September details card, and then a picture of Patrick at the gym with me. So yeah, I don't actually have a lot of photos from September for my project life. I do have a lot of photos that I wanted to, give their own scrapbook page, but I actually kind of like when my project life is nice and tidy with not a lot of photos. It makes me happy when I don't have like 4 spreads of project life photos to do. I wanted to add in some more of these, puffy hearts. I think these are from the family kit. I had hearts everywhere, so I wanted to add some to the September Life card. This is also from the book club kit from Cocoa Daisy, a little 2 thumbs up, which I liked. Trying to fill in some of that empty space on that card, and I was thinking about it, and I just decided to leave it as it was. I could have added a title or something, but I just was too lazy, basically. I could say something like I wanted to keep it simple, but really I was just tired. I didn't want to add anything else to it, so I just left that green white space as it was and called it good. Adding a couple more things here and there. I felt like this one of Patrick needed something on it, and so I put that 10 on there, and then I end up replacing it. And actually I missed the very last bit of this video, so you don't see me change it out. Like I go for it now and then it cuts out, but I didn't really change much, so that's okay. But if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, you can go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you, and if you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Tracy M. Reed. Thank you!